Hello, it's Lou Collins, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Papercraft Essentials issue 223. So this issue's just come out and it has this gorgeous wellness card making kit with it that's in association with the Mental Health UK. I really love this. It's very, very different, quite unique. Now the magazine is jam-packed full of projects anyway, lots of different things you can be doing. Some projects using the kit, so you've instantly got inspiration with that. But there's also lots of other things. For example, you've got your infinity shakers, very, very popular at the moment, where the entire card front is kind of a shaker rather than just a small area of it and things like that. So there's lots and lots to learn in the magazine anyway. But yeah, I'm going to be focusing on the kit today. As you can see, there's die-cut toppers, journal cards, postcards, bookmarks, pattern papers, tassels and sticky notes included. So let me just get everything out of here. I love the fact that the tassels are bright fuchsia pink. What I'm going to do is look at mostly the pattern papers. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. We've got some watercolour effects in there. We've got botanicals as well. They're a lovely lightweight paper, so you can layer them up. You could do things like iris folding with them, for example. We've also got some nice spring sort of florals in here too. A lovely colour palette. This is gorgeous, so it's kind of almost your tropical theme here, and some blues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few elements around the same sort of colourway. So I think I'm going to go with the greens and blues. They're actually some of my favourite colours just lately. So the four there, I'm going to concentrate on that colour palette. And then I might have some accents of pink thrown in. Let's take a quick look through the toppers and decide what we might use. I love these. They're foiled, but in blue foil, so they're so different. These are your bookmarks here, so you can just simply pop those out, add your tassels on, use them on cards as little gifts. We've got enjoy every moment, it's all about you, thank you, happy birthday, lots of images in there. We've even got borders as well. Make yourself priority, so it's all about wellness. Obviously mental health, good mental health, things like that. So there's so much here. I really like these. Enjoy your day, on your birthday, thinking of you. I think I'm going to use thinking of you because it's circular, and what I'm going to do is actually create a really, really simple card today, and it's just going to be using some of the pattern papers, and I'm going to make them into a sort of circular pattern just to build up a background on my card. So very, very simple. It's very sort of clean and simple, I suppose. Let's put that to the side. I've actually got here a card base. Now this card base is 6 by 6 inches or 15 by 15 centimetres. Now within the four colours that I've got here, I'm going to cut myself a range of circles. So these are just some small dice here that I've got, circular dies. They've got different sort of shaped edges and such, but a lot of the edges you won't really see too boldly. And I'm just going to cut myself a complete selection, very random, of these different ones, probably 2 or 3 from each colour paper first of all. So this is where I love card making, and I love the different ideas that come to life purely by accident. So I was die cutting these elements, the circles here, and as I was laying down my papers that I was cutting out, I noticed that actually through them there were some really fun effects. So I think what I'm going to do is try and make a card that is actually looking more at you're using these backgrounds instead. So let's see how this works. I'm still going to probably use my die cut circles. So let's bring in a trimmer first of all. Now I did completely randomly cut the circles into these papers. So I'm really not sure how this is going to come out. Let's just see if that will fit. See, that will be nice as my top layer. And then let's cut a couple more, these two, slightly smaller so they can fit underneath, and we can move them about slightly if need be. And what I'd like to achieve is kind of this little peek through. Could do that way. Not sure about that solid in the top corner there, so let's move these around a bit. So that's quite nice. We've got some different shapes going on in there, and then That's different, isn't it? So what we've got is a lot of detail going on down here. But if then I incorporate some of these circles coming over the top, like so. Let's do a patterned one there. We've really got a lovely cluster of sort of circles and such going on here. Oh, there's another small one there that could go anywhere, could go there. Lovely. Yeah, I really like that. It's different. It's really different. Lots of pattern going on here, and then this could just go over the top. I think if we build this up with dimension and ink the edges of everything, it's really going to stand out nicely. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and see how that looks. Lots of texture in there. So let's take these pieces off. The smaller ones are the ones I'm going to use afterwards, and take these off in layers. The first one, so I want to use some tape. So this is really going to be quite a dimensional card, lots and lots of depth to it. So bring in a nice, quite a deep but a thin in width foam tape here. Go along these two edges first of all, and then a strip through the middle, because you don't want the middle to start bowing in. So let's put this one on first. You might find you need more. Actually, I think I will. I think I'll put some at the top and bottom as well, because that will stand to just help support the top and bottom also. Right up to the edge there. Once we start getting our other layers on top, it's really going to be quite chunky and quite heavy, so we don't want anything underneath, like I say, sort of collapsing under the weight. Just peeling off the edges there. And I love this when you get a kit like this, all the papers just coordinate beautifully. Now obviously I've picked all the blues and all the greens, but it's the patterns and the textures, they just work so well together, as well of course the shades of the colours. Now this one, I can't remember which way it went, but we'll go with that way. Put that in the middle there first of all. So there's one. Now already I can see that I've got shadows in here, so lovely. So then the next one will go like that. I'm just wondering, no, I think I will need the other one over the top. So this one, I think, just so it's not too deep, I'm just going to glue this one on as it is. Mind the scissors. So just glue around the edge and then little bits in here. I'm not quite sure where it's going to stick, so just a few little dots here and there. So this one can go on flat, just on there. Lovely. And then this one will go over the top to start seeing those patterns come through. Yeah, like so. So we've really got some lovely interest there. Now I am going to raise this one up, but before I do that I want to just add a little bit of ink. So let's go with Salty Ocean, which is a nice blue, and just brush into the very edges of the circles, and I'll do the same around the edge of this layer as well. That's just going to add another shadow to the circles. Now I'm keeping this because I think I might want to use it again in a few moments on the smaller circles as well, to pick out the detail of those. So let's add some foam tape to the back of this, particularly again around the edges, so that it can't sort of collapse on itself, and then a little bit in the middle also. It's a good idea to just have a look and see in the middle sections where's actually going to catch on to some paper to stick. You don't want the sticky foam tape to be catching onto the white card base underneath. And you can do this with any shape. It doesn't have to be circles, it could be squares or hexagons or hearts. The hearts would be really nice around anniversary or Valentine's Day. Lots of different hearts, all sort of nestled within each other. So let's just see, actually, before I take all of those off, just double check. Yeah, I think that's a bit too much, so there. So yeah, that's fine. Just checking where I can apply my sticky. So that one needs peeling off. And this bottom one. And I'm just going to, oops, catch that on there. Right, so let's put this on here. I love the watercolour effect, this paper. Now this one's going down, so I leave a nice even border. I'm not worried about this circle because this one I will cover up. I think I'll cover up with this here. Let's just use my ink and just add a little bit of ink onto the edges of that. This is particularly important if you're doing blue on blue or green on green, for example, because you kind of need a little bit of ink just to raise up the edges and give that drop shadow, give it a little bit of dimension. So some foam tape, I'm using white foam tape here. This is the Craft Stash, well, it's actually the Creative brand, but from Craft Stash, foam adhesive sheets. There we go, so that covers that up. I think that one can go there again, just around the edges, and then I'm using those adhesive sheets. This is actually an offcut. You can see it's a really unusual shape, so I can just use it to cut small squares that I can incorporate onto the card. Overlapping some of the circles there, and then again I'm going to ink these edges. I think I just dropped one somewhere, it's probably gone inside the card. I'll hunt that down. I'll just ink the edges of these and apply them in the same way. There we go, so we've got that lovely look through. It seems a shame to put anything over the top, but I really do love this thinking of you here, so I'm going to pop that over the top. It's got the nice green around the edge so it matches. I'm just going to lift that up again. I'm going to use my big white foam sheet to lift this up, and this is just going to sit over the top. I'm half wondering whether I need to actually put it somewhere else. I just don't know if I want to cover up that nice effect there, but I'm not sure where else that would fit. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go over the top there. We can still see a little bit of it peeking through. Just there. Ooh, I can't do it. I can't cover it up. Might have to put that up there and then the little spot on top, and then we've still got a little peek through there. I'm thinking maybe one more as well. I might die cut a smaller piece of green just because I've got an area here that's seems a little bit out of place. Yes, let's use the small one. So this is where I start. It takes the longest part of the card making, this bit is where I start adding bits at the end, thinking, oh, that doesn't quite look right. But I like taking you on this kind of this journey, this process, so you can see how I build a card. And I don't always plan them before I start. Certainly with these magazines, I just dive in and you see what I want to make. So last little bit of foam, hopefully. Just cut a small square here. Make sure you don't use scissors that are going to get sticky. Either use sort of your non-stick scissors, or otherwise just keep scissors only for cutting your glue and your foam. Then I think if I put this one over the top there, that just balances everything out. So we've got lots of bubbles, lots of peek throughs. It's really different actually, it's really unusual, and it's surprising that it's actually come from this lovely kit. So all of this, including all these scraps of paper that I'll put back in there, have come from Papercraft Essentials issue 223. You can pick yours up at Craft Stash now. Yeah, and it's a lovely, lovely kit, a lovely magazine, lots of inspiration. There is also an interview with myself in there, so you can see what I've been getting up to the last couple of months. But I'd love to see your take on using this wellness card making kit. It'd be great if you could download that into, or sorry, upload that into the Craft World Inspiration Gallery.